super low. But that cannot stop us today because we're not actually driving anywhere. We're going to go to a quick spot. I'm going to chat with you guys about some GTI buying tips because I had a couple people asking, because I know, well, right now is a great time to buy a Mk7 GTI. The prices are very low, and I think it's one of the best cars you can buy for the price. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about kind of options and things to look out for, and yeah. In this video, we are going to discuss some buying tips. The first thing I want to say is obviously what years to look for when buying a GTI. So typically, as you guys know, the Mk7 began 2015 to 2020, but for 2018 to 2020, you can get a Mark 7.5, which is the facelift GTI, and that comes with an upgraded bumper, upgraded headlights with the option. But it's only minor things. You are perfectly fine getting a Mark 7, and you won't really find yourself missing too much with a without the facelift, because I think they're both great. They're great options. So there's that. The years, obviously, to most people want to stay away from the first year of the new generation. So for me, that would be 2015, which is the vehicle that I have, a 2015 GTI with 48,000 miles, and I can say very happily at 48,000 miles, I've had no problems with the car. The only issues that I've had are very minor. I've discussed them in my what has broken on my GTI video, and I will link that in the description below so you guys can check that out. Yeah, I've had really no problems. The only issues I've had were only issues with, other people banging into it, or in the first version of the APR Tune. So from my experience, the 2015 GTI is plenty fine and is perfectly fine car to buy. However, just so you guys know, if you do buy the 2015, you are sort of out of luck. You don't get a USB port, and you don't get the updated infotainment screen, which comes with the 2016s and up, and the facelifts get an even bigger screen. So if you're into that kind of stuff, that's something you should know. This is a GTI SE. This is a mid-trim, so it goes GTI S, GTI SE. Prior models, I think 2017 up to 2018. Maybe not even 2018, just 2017, maybe 16 as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I know there was once a trim called the GTI Sport, came with the performance package standard. However, they kind of did some cost savings. They got rid of the fog lights, which I think for a GTI is a must. If it's a GTI, it's gonna have the fog lights. But they did away with those, so that's if you want a GTI Sport. You get performance package standard. This thing is just a GTI SE though, so what's included with the SE, you get leather seats, you get the Fender audio system, and you get a sunroof, of course, as well. And I've had no problems with any of, a lot of people have problems with the leaky sunroof. I've had no problems. And I live in a really winter, summer, very drastic climate, so I've had no problems. So what's included with the GTI S, which is the base model, you get only Clark plaid seats, which are a nice seat. It's a cloth, but it is also, I've seen many Clark plaid GTIs, and they look like they really hold up super well. They don't kind of get any creases or cracks like the leather does. The leather is pretty good. I think, in my opinion, cloth seats are harder to clean. Of course, with the S, you don't get the sunroof. I don't think you get the Fender audio. In fact, I know you don't get the Fender audio. I think the SE is plenty. It's a perfect mid-range, because the Autobahn only comes with the navigation, and Climatronic, I believe, is included as well. SE is perfectly fine for anyone who's looking to get into a GTI, even just an S. But again, SE comes with the Fender audio, and it's a must in my opinion. So that's just something to keep in mind. I also want to touch on the options that you should look into, and some options you should probably stay away from. The driver's assistance package is nice. You probably don't need it. Regardless, it's a good package. It's not necessarily something you need, because it has the autonomous braking, and if you're a good driver, you really don't need it. But if you want it, it's there for you to have. So that's something to consider. The lighting package, in my opinion, is a must. And I'm not saying the halogens are bad. I think the halogens are really good. I just think the DRLs look really nice on the lighting package. I have obviously the pre-facelift, but I think regardless, it still looks really nice. The LEDs just look so cool. So something you should definitely look into, and I kind of wish I did. I don't think I'm missing out by not having it, but at the same time, I'd love to drive a GTI and kind of just, I wish this car was I almost kind of wish this car had it just for the LSD, but the performance package GTI I think like depending on what kind of driving you're gonna do, if you're gonna bring it on the track, I think it's worth your while. I have no problems with my car right now, but it'd be interesting to see what it would be like with the LSD and the bigger brakes as well. The bigger brakes probably would make a big impact because they're Golf R brakes rated for a car that's 300 pounds lighter than the Golf R, or around 200 pounds lighter than the Golf R. So, I mean, the car stops on a dime. All right, so when you are test driving these cars, say if you do go to test drive a car that you're interested in, definitely be sure to, if you're driving a DSG, to see if the car is lurching at all. These DSGs do lurch a little bit out of the box, completely new. It's a weird thing that they do. It's just the dual clutch. You just need to give it a little bit of speed, and at normal speeds this thing is perfectly fine, but at stop and go you can kind of feel a little bit of lurching. That's perfectly normal. That's to be expected with this transmission. However, if it is kind of resisting, if it's kind of hesitating, and if you kind of feel like the clutch is slipping, if you're giving it throttle, it's free revving, and if it's not actually shifting, then obviously there's an issue with the DSG, and a DSG fix is very expensive. I mean, it's like gotta be like $3,000 to $4,000, maybe even $5,000 to fix. So another thing you should probably keep in mind is if the car is quoted as tuned, something that should instantly pop into your mind is the fact that the car was probably driven pretty quickly, and there's probably a little bit excess wear on the turbo, the engine, any really stock internals like the drivetrain itself, even your transmission. You know, these are tune cars, do put a lot of pressure, depends especially on the tune. And if people go bigger turbo like IS38, that puts a lot of stress on the DSG. Not necessarily the engine, because the engine is built for an IS38. A tuned IS38, you know, that's a different story, but you know, there are people out there doing, you know, insane tunes, and it is putting a lot of even, you know, you can say APR is a very aggressive tune, but in my opinion I've had really no problems, so I can't speak to that. So yeah, if it's tuned, just expect there to be a little bit excess wear and potentially problems down the road, but you know, that's only minor stuff. All right, so we'll end it off there. If you guys like the video, please be sure to leave a like and leave a comment depending on what you guys are interested in. If you guys are what you guys want to see next, or if you're in the market to buy a GTI, please let me know, because I'd love to help you guys out on purchasing and finding the right car, because I think these cars are great cars, and with the right spec, it's awesome. So yeah, so with that said, thank you guys again so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.